Mm. Time to go to sleep.
What was that?
I'm caught in the pillow.
Yeah. We were talking today about we both are very sad people. Sad in a way in that we get sad about the way the world is, and it bothers us and it depresses us both a lot. Do you have any thoughts about this?
People would say that you shouldn't let that get to.
So
They do.
you do. Why do you?
We both find it interesting that evil is supported and revered much more than goodness is, which is basically ignored, and the main reason is because usually beings who do good in the world are humble in their activities, and those who do evil for the most part really want attention and thus do evil for that. And they get it because they see that everybody else who has done evil has gotten a lot of attention. It's not like somebody does evil and then their people ignore them and that's the end of it. Nobody talks about them or cares about them.
Yeah, they're talked about throughout history. Makes me think about Columbine. The reason why they did that is because they wanted to be famous. They were obsessed with the whole serial killer thing, saying if we go and shoot up our school, then we'll be famous. And they are. They're more famous than we'll ever be.
I forgot about Columbine.
Yeah. And so many serial killers. I mean, there's so many fucking serial killers that are famous. You know their name. You know what they did in gory detail.
And they get love mail.
And they get fan mail in prison on death row for having done these horrific things. And there are hundreds of documentaries documenting the gory details of every heinous act that they committed.
In a certain sense, there's the being in the past who's done evil over history has been revered by everybody knowing his name even more than the good person's name, and that's interesting. You know Pontius Pilate very well. Everybody knows this, and everybody knows Judas'
And
name,
Hitler.
but they don't. And Hitler, they don't know the name of the person who did the good thing. They have a name that is completely false. It was applied to him through Latin, and mostly because the Romans didn't like the Aramaic people, so to present the philosophy of this being would have the Romans revering somebody who's their slave.
Who is Aramaic. He's talking about Yeshua.
And probably most people don't even know who Yeshua is.
Yeah.
But there's another name that Yeshua is called, and that everybody knows. And everybody calls this a God name.
But that's not what his name was.
That's not what his name was.
If you went back 2,000 years ago and said the name Jesus to people, they'd say, what? Who?
Yeah. And look for him, you wouldn't find him.
Nope.
And I wouldn't want my name changed. And my born name is Stefan. I changed the pronunciation of it, but that is my legal name, but I'm not Etienne. I'm not Stephanos or Stepan. I'm Stefan, and I believe in name energy. So they know the evil name really well, Judas.
It becomes a legendary figure, the evil. the evil character, and it's mesmerizing. You know, evil deeds and evil actions. It's fascinating. I've over my life I've found the serial killer, the evil the evil dictators and all of this documentaries and things, watching this shit fascinating. All people do, to see what kind of depths people can sink to. But recently I've really started thinking about, that's actually celebrating them by all of these films being made, and articles and newspapers and news TV shows and whatever about these people. It's celebrating what they did, even though people would say that that's not what's, they're not celebrating them, they're just trying to break it down to understand why they became so evil.
But those people who do good are kind of invisible. And they choose to be humble. Most good people are very humble. The opposite of that is very arrogant and showy. And that doesn't usually happen with good acts.
No. People do good because they believe goodness is an important aspect of being human and being alive. It's not because, hey, look at me, I did something good. Whereas evil people want attention for doing evil. Another example is the one who must not be named, Trump, in the United States. He's one of the most evil people I've ever, I just, unfathomable, fucked up kind of person. Obviously very manipulative and twisted, and not a noble, good person. It was completely, one of the most famous people in the United States, and became the president of the United States, and is celebrated, and is known, and is trumpeted throughout the world for being this twisted, fucked up person, and is quite beloved by many, 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 many people in the United States for being this way. What is that about?
I don't know much about him, really, because I don't watch the news. I don't use a phone anymore. I'm completely separated from your world, and I mostly because I can't say I'm the most wonderful person, but I've been doing an expressive work for quite a long time, and there's not much to say about it. It hasn't got much attention. You are the only person who really has come forward so strongly.
Yeah. There is an Academy Award-winning film about his life, but it was buried because of the 9/11 attacks. That's a really small example of, big example of somebody doing good in the world, having their work be shown in the world by having a film being made about it, and then an evil action taking place, and then all eyes go onto that evil action instead of onto this humble, good, noble person who's trying to do something beautiful. For once he was getting some little amount of attention, and the evil of the world stole that attention away from him.
The timing's funny.
Yeah,
getting my fan.
Because the film came out within the same few months of the terrorist attacks happening. It's so ironic. And if you think about
sound buzz.
It's funny. The only comparison I can have, I know Thoth and I are very good, very noble, kind, humble people.
We try to be.
We try to be. We're only human. We make mistakes and all of that. Don't see ourselves as perfect at all, because we're not.
we're not talking about perfection, we're talking about doing kind and let's say neutrally expressive.
I wouldn't say it's neutrally expressive. I think it's very, we're doing the best we can to be the best people we can. And after 15 years together doing it, there's really been nothing much that's... I hope it looks okay. We've been doing our thing for a really long time together, and there's not much, if anything, that's come of it. And we've really had to step back and look at that over the last year or so. That what have we done? What have we accomplished? We've performed a lot together and performed for a lot of people, but nothing seems to have come of it. There's no great documentary about our lives. There's no movie having been made. Any of these big things that, or fame, or riches, or any kind of thing. We are safe. We have our needs met.
What is being missed? Not a documentary.
There is a documentary.
It won
about
an
us.
award.
Did in San Diego.
It's not current, and it's not.
No one's seen it. It's not like anybody's seen it.
And it kind of was buried in a sense.
Yeah.
Because I think that the person didn't want us. The producer didn't want us to have access to it.
Yeah. There is a
Something like
documentary that was made, but it was quite a while ago, and no one's seen it. So there isn't much reward, if any, that really happens from being a creative artist, from being an original, thinking creative artist. There's a lot of, and then we're experiencing a lot of cruelty. Online people lashing out at us and being hateful, criticizing, and I definitely don't believe we deserve that. So what's the point of it all?
Well, that guy got a lot of attention too.
Who?
The one who was saying things.
Oh yes.
He was commenting among other people, and he got the most attention because he was being the most evil and negative.
Yeah,
and I think that kind of works in general. You make the most negative, evil, rude
nasty
noise, and your voice is heard much more than those who really like things. And
yeah, people who are kind, people who are understanding and compassionate.
So we're trying to figure out what is there that can inspire people to be the best and the most noble that they can be. What is there that offers people something to lead them down the path of being noble, good? Is it religious thing? Is it is that what happens?
For a lot of people it is. I'm good because the Bible tells me that I should be. Or my religion.
Good because of karma?
Yeah. Some religious thing that I follow tells me I should be good. But people have killed in the name of God, and in the name of all of these religious things, done horrible things to people in the name of religion.
Yeah, every single one of them too.
All, there are religions that say to hate or to be, hateful towards different minorities of different kinds of people.
And killed them.
Yeah, to kill
burn them.
Destroy them.
All sorts of holy wars have been sanctioned and proposed.
In the name of God, or the name of
something.
My religion over your religion.
So even that gets more attention, and the religion is the evil act in the name of that religion is more prominent than the kindest act in that religion.
Yeah, or the good aspects of such and such whatever religion, because there are good aspects of all religions, and there is it's never black or white in life. It's always, there's goodness and there's badness in all people. Everyone has mean streaks and sometimes do things wrong and say mean things and are unhelpful or hurt people. But I believe it's about the intention. If you are intending to be kind and intending to do your best and be a good person, then that's what makes the difference.
There's also another aspect to living that's a little bit complicated. And that is, people want to be wealthy, they want material, they want that to speak for them as beings who have a high status in the society. So the acquirement of those things is an intention, and that intention can take people on a wayward course. We just met a man who owns a wonderful shop whose activity took him on a very dark course, and now he's turned around and he's gotten healthy and he's in a much kinder place.
Mm-hmm.
And what is he getting from that? He's the humbler store next to another one that's very prominent and very bustling. And it's interesting.
He's making less money, he's getting less attention, less praise, less everything, because he's doing something very humble and very good and infused with the desire to help others and support others in a healthy way of living. And that always becomes lessified, less lessened in the world. Another example is, I've been running this vlog channel for 10 years. It's not something that's advertiser friendly or something that's made me 1 penny in the 10 years that I've run it, because it's very raw and real, and we're very honest and freakish in our way of experiencing and participating in the world, and it doesn't get very much attention. It's not like there will be many comments and it will get hate. There will be people that will dislike the video, who will be hateful, and it's a very disturbing thing in life. So what is it that can be an inspiration? Because being good is so much harder than being bad, right?
It's more, because some of those bad acts required a lot of planning and very bad.
Yes.
So they were very difficult to put in, but it's the energy of the support, and it's just very nice to receive support from others. You just said that when you were playing yesterday, when you have people watching with presence, it inspires you in a way that with nobody watching is not much of anything.
Yeah, I have no energy when there's no one present for it. But yeah, so maybe I'd say we as a society, if we can try to be more present for and more supportive of good people, good causes, and good things, people that have noble intentions and are doing their best. If we can be present and supportive of those people and turn away from the guga of the bad action and of the bad behavior, because it's very mesmerizing for people. It's like a car crash on the side of the road. Everybody's craning their necks to look at it.
It's like the phone.
Yeah.
It's very, very. It's very exciting to look at the phone and look at everything on the phone instead of around the place you're sitting and all the different people and the flowers and the trees that are around, and instead, or your friends. I see people now sitting at the table with their phones, staring at their phones amongst a party of four, let's say four girls, they're all looking at their phone. Nobody's even looking at each other or caring about each other. So that takes more excitement, and it draws attention much more than realness.
And usually the things that are on the phone are traumatic, drama-filled, negative, fear-mongering, fear-based bullshit, waste of time stuff. Whereas the real world is pleasant. You know, there's a lot of beauty in the real world. You can talk to people, you can say hello to someone, you can look at the trees and stand in the sunshine, and you know, but that's not as interesting as the scrolling crap on the phone. And that's why the world is all so fucked up, is because there are these little boxes that people stare at all day long and get sucked into all this negative shit all day long. Because that's the stuff that brings attention.
I won't be getting a phone. And at times I feel very left out from your world and from your society. So I look from a distance. I don't know what films are on anymore. I don't have telephone contact. I can't sign up for Social Security because I don't have a telephone number. And it's interesting to be in that position because I am a virtual outcast. And I'm not welcomed in. Just recently was the first time there was welcoming for us. It was David and Kefa welcomed us, and that was the first time we had ever heard that.
In Bali. A loving, welcoming experience.
We're outcast more than an evil person who is right in the midst of everything, having a good party, just
all over
pooping on
media.
everybody.
All over social media and all over people's telephones and smartphones and TVs, and we're out on the sidelines. And that really is the nature of being a creative, good, magical person, is that you just kind of exist on the outside of it because people are drawn to evil. People are drawn to, nobody would say they are. People wouldn't say, oh yeah, I'm drawn to all the evil and badness and bad behavior in the world, but people are. It's an addictive thing. It's an addictive, obsessive thing. It's an easy entertainment.
It's very stimulating.
Yeah, very. Whereas noble, kind, creative goodness is, who cares? Who cares about that? That's why art is dying. That's why creativity is dying and being destroyed as we speak, because people like us are oppressed and ignored and pushed down and hated on and for just being beautiful, magical people. That's why people don't pursue their own truth and live their own lives and follow their own hearts. It's because there's so much hate, and that hate goes on to good people doing noble things and trying to make something beautiful in the world. I'm
always saying that I experience the police and people trying to stop what I do more than a thief does. Mm-hmm. And of course thieves are trying to hide that they're causing problems with things, but when I go into an environment and I sing in my full splendor, then people yell and scream and tell me to stop or do something, whatever, to stop me.
I'll try to arrest you.
Or try to arrest me, or
fine you.
And you're afraid that they'll cart me off to immigration and deport me if I do that here. That's from largeness of expression. That's not from, I don't use microphones, I don't use any of these things, and yet that causes more reaction than using any of these things.
And somebody's pickpocketing or stealing from people.
A negative reaction to me.
People scamming at people. Yeah, and because you are so visible, you walk around with bells and whistles and pretty outfits and everything.
But it's not evil.
No, it's not evil at all. But it's more obvious than in a negative. I mean, in day-to-day life, you don't see bad behavior and bad actions taking place because people hide it. People are afraid. They don't want to be seen for being evil and being conniving and horrible. That's why people sit behind their computers and write nasty things, is they don't want to be seen. They don't want to be confronted with their bad behavior. They want to get away with it. People want to and do constantly get away with bad behavior in day-to-day life. And then bad behavior in general is highlighted on social media and on the internet. And in general, people get away with it. It's this, the microcosm is the internet of people writing nasty comments and then getting away with it. There's no way to for them to get their comeuppance or anything. People can just be as nasty as they want to be. That's the kind of level we've sunk to as a society. And but for me, creativity is the only thing that makes anything. There are plenty of times in which I wish I didn't exist anymore and don't really want to exist in this world. But being creative and dressing up and making art is the only thing that makes me feel like I want to stay alive, stay in this world. Is that enough?